dance, the top dance, the top dance, up, dance, up. Give me the mic so I can get the crowd active, make them. If you got a bubble boy, make it. If you got some D cups, make them. Give me the mic so I can get the crowd active, make them. Justine, make them wiggle titties. We make music. Some people call it hip hop, trance, dance, rock, hip hop. It don't matter the top. We call it music. So we make songs that catch you and keep you connected like Tetris. We make music. Some people call it hip hop, trance, dance, rock, hip hop. It don't matter the top. We call it music. So we make songs that catch you and keep you connected like Tetris. I'm going to send it to you via Discord. You got a message on Discord from me. Shouldn't.
Yeah, this is locked. Okay, there we go. So I can actually look at stuff and get off that.
Alright, let me go to my channel and...
Awesome. So I can see all of our messages here.
Yeah, you can see the chat in there and everything like that. I know that you're not privy to how it works and everything.
Yeah, I've never even heard of Discord. I'm like, okay,
no.
Figure this out.
Alright, I just told Jet to share this. Alright. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to my screen share real quick, and we can start talking. Alright?
Awesome.
Alright, guys. Well, good evening and or morning or whatever it is. You know, I wanted to do a stream to touch up on something that Lestat was doing because it's something that really hits home for me. You know, one of my good friends in the solver community ended up passing away several days ago because he had a welfare check called in. And literally, it ended in a shootout where he ended up getting killed and so did a police officer. Now, this is where it becomes tricky because I ended up introducing him to Thomas. He was one of the people that I brought into the cicada community trying to bring him with me. And he was a great man. Like, he didn't show any darkness, never showed any real violence, you know. So if my voice cracks up a little bit, I totally apologize, guys, because you're going to see me in a very real aspect tonight, I have a feeling. And I don't really care if it gives the other people satisfaction of being able to cause someone sorrow, because it's really a crappy thing that's happened, especially after every single thing that has been uncovered. Now, I have a special guest here tonight. He is actually a real in-life friend of Sam, aka Demetrius Jordan. And honestly, he had a very heartfelt video that he shared pertaining to him. So I wanted to share this to you guys and literally give him a chance to talk to the community, because he's been looking around as well as other people have been looking around, and it just, a lot of things are starting to add up in people's minds about what really happened, especially with the information that was told to certain friends of Demetrius, aka Sam. So without further ado, let's start it with the actual video and everything, and then what we'll do is we'll go through a question type deal where we can actually get to know this man through someone who actually knew him, who had his children around him, you know, and who actually honestly loved him like a brother. Because I know this man was a brother to me, because God, man, he was one of the most intelligent people I've met. The way he solved the puzzles and everything, like most of the stuff that I came across, that we were working together. You know, he was part of a little group of us that just would analyze things and then talk. And be like, hey, this looks right here, let's try this. You know, totally logical. It baffles me that he's gone. But I think I have a little bit more of an understanding why. And it's the reason why I've been on here on stream fighting against frickin' all this stuff. Alright? And it just, literally, it reminds me of Pavana. And from what I've been hearing, there's a lot of weird connections. So, here we go. Without further ado, this is for Demetrius Jordan from his in real life friend. Hopefully you guys can hear it perfectly, and I'll
Hey
put it
guys,
over here.
never done a live stream before, but
Give me a second.
I
guys.
felt like this was something that I needed to do.
I'm trying to get it on the
Kind of talk
screen.
about and kind of let people know. A good friend of mine
Not moving over.
on Facebook, known as Demetrius Jordan, in real life, Samuel Fullerton, one of my best friends, a brother of mine.
All right, we're gonna start
Last
this over, guys.
Thursday.
Now, please listen to this man. Alright? Notice the emotion that's actually in his eyes and in his voice. Like this right here. This is... I wish that if something happened to me, that I had a friend like this. Like, this is actually, honestly, a beautiful thing, guys.
Hey guys, never done a live stream before, but I felt like this was something that I needed to do. Kind of talk about and kind of let people know. A good friend of mine on Facebook, known as Demetrius Jordan, in real life, Samuel Fullerton, one of my best friends, a brother of mine. Last Thursday, passed away, and I just wanted to give some background information because, you know, it's all over the news. It's on CNN, it's on ABC, it's pretty much everywhere. And so I just kind of wanted to give a backstory and let you know who Sam really was, because he wasn't the person that does the thing that he did. He was a good man. He had a good heart. I mean, my kids called him Uncle Sam, you know. He was a great person. But Sam his life had gone downhill the last few years. You know, he his house burned down about 2 years ago. And, you know, from that point on, things just kind of got worse and worse. He was in a pretty dark place whenever all this happened. You know, he had lost not only his house, but the place that he was living. He got evicted from, or kicked out, or he had some issues. And Sam had his demons. You know, he in no means was a perfect person, but the person that I knew would have given you the shirt off of his back, you know. Anyways, there's a lot of different news stories out there, a lot of different things saying what happened. this and that happened. So I just kind of wanted to let people know his psychological state. And, you know, my heart goes out to Officer Stevens. You know, it was a senseless death. It's something that should have never happened. You know, it's something that, me looking back, if I would have helped him, if I would have done a little bit more for him, if I would have reached out, you know, maybe I could have prevented it. And so that's the biggest takeaway that I'm trying to derive some kind of meaning from this, is that there are people that are close to us that are in a dark place, and, you know, and we think they're okay, and they say things, and we don't take it seriously. We think, well, maybe they'll be all right. You know, this is Sam. This is something that he says. You know, some of the last videos, some of the last things that he posted on Facebook, and some of the last things that he sent to me, were things saying, you know, I asked him how he was doing, and he said, you know, man, just waiting to die. And I was like, God, well, man, do you want to come over? You know, he's like, no, I can't. He's like, life's pretty much hell right now. I can't shower. I'm not decent. I can't go anywhere. And, you know, and you know, at that point, I should have gone to him. I should have said something. I should have done something better, but I didn't. And so that's what I'm trying to take away from this. You know, Sam didn't go to the doctor. He didn't go anywhere as far as getting psychological help, which he desperately needed. He, you know, on any given day, especially recently, he was more paranoid, I feel like, than he's ever been in the past. You know, he was, you know, some of the last things he said to me was that he didn't. He said that he was like, well, there's a silver lining to everything, man. He said, right now I'm kind of malnourished and I'm not eating anything, but I'm losing my baby fat.
So he was fasting?
So, anyways, what I can tell as of what happened, talking to the people that were actually there and gathering as much information as I can, you know, Sam and his girlfriend had gotten into some kind of domestic dispute, and her family was worried about her, so they called for a wellness check. And I'm not sure of the official story yet. I know they haven't really released a police report exactly, so all we're going off of right now is things that the news channels have reported, which are all variations of the same story. But apparently the cops showed up for the wellness check, and before they could even make it to the house, Sam opened fire. And that's the story that I've got right now. But until I talk to, you know, the people that were actually there, which the only other person that was actually there was his girlfriend Erica, then I don't know exactly what happened. But I just want to let people know that this man wasn't a violent person. He wasn't somebody that went out of his way to hurt anybody. He was a really sick man, you know, at the end of the day. After everything had gone down, after everything that he'd been through, he had very little family, and, you know, he was just in a bad situation. And if you have a friend like that, if you have somebody and you see them posting these things, and you can see the signs, you know, even though you feel like you might be intrusive or you might be being too forceful with it, you know, I'd urge you to get them help, whatever it takes. Because if I would have done something, whatever it took, whenever I saw the signs of paranoia, and I saw, because he was afraid of the police, you know, he told me on several occasions that, you know, things like, you know, the police are going to kill me, and and he was afraid, you know, he was genuinely paranoid and about these things. And I told him, man, no, they're not. You just talk to people and talk with them without that fear. And I really think that he created a self-fulfilling prophecy. He was connected with some pretty dark people that weren't helping. If he was psychotic or if he was schizophrenic at the time, which I believe 100% that he was, they were not helping the situation. And you know, I'd like to, and I'm setting up to speak with the police next week to actually give them more information, as much as I can anyways, on Sam's character and who he really was. But there's a side of the story that'll never be covered in the media, and that's Sam's side, and it's not a good one. It's this is a tale of suffering all the way around. It's something that should have never happened. It's something that I feel like we as a society could have prevented, and that I as an individual could have prevented, but you can't do anything about it now. So I'm just trying to make meaning of it. But I just wanted to let people know that this man was not a bad man. You know, he was there. He laughed with my kids. I would have trusted him with my life. He was not a bad person in the least bit. He was a sick person, who at the end of the day let that sickness consume him rather than getting help, rather than getting out of the place that he was at. He let it come to chaos at the very end, and that's something that I never want to see happen. And we have enough death and hurt in the world, and to see it hit so close to home and affect everyone that I know and love, it's really a painful and tragic thing. But my love and heart goes out to his family, and the family of the fallen officer, Officer Stevens, who was doing his job protecting people like he should have been. And that's something that I wish had never happened, and hopefully we can do something for each other, and I can be a better individual and be a better friend in the future, that I don't have to let it happen again. You guys have a great night.
Okay. So that was a very, very good video. At least I think so. What do you guys think who are watching? Heartfelt, clear thought about a good friend. Hi, Diane. Now, the surprise is that I actually have the man who created this video on stream with us right now. And he's privy to a lot more than most people were. Like, I didn't know any of this stuff. Like, I had a hunch. And I woke up one day and I saw that Demetrius died, and I ain't gonna lie, because I'm not a weak man. I cried, man. I fucking cried. I cried for about 8 hours, honestly, because that was part of my community, and anyone that knows me and how I ran my community, I really care about the people. So I reached out to him, and I just said, this doesn't feel right. And we started talking, and we found out that there's a lot of stuff that wasn't right. So I would figure that I was gonna give him some questions, and or let him freeform talk about what happened and what's going on. So sorry guys, I'm a little emotional. Dude, you handled that a hell of a lot better than I handled it. I hear about this shit, I freaking ooh. And I really don't get freaking emotional. Alright. Let's see. He should still... Yep, you're still in here, right, man?
Hey, man. Yeah, I'm still in here. I'm sorry.
Oh, totally fine, dude. Totally fine. First time being on a stream, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just out here trying to keep the phone alive, and yeah, I'm figuring it all out. But yeah, I'm here.
All right. For the sake of anonymity and everything, for the sake of that, I am just going to call you Edward the Grey. All right. And the fact is that we were talking the other night, and I was telling you about what's been happening in the community. We came to a conclusion that Demetrius told you some stuff about a certain individual pertaining to certain things, such as a Sony deal, and or he thought that he was going to be rich and get money, and he was working on stuff for Sophia Music, which I had no idea about any of that.
Right. No, I'm glad I called you and talked to you, because it was just one of those things he had mentioned to me one of the last times I went out and actually visited with him.
Yeah.
He was showing me some music, and he was like, don't tell anybody this, but he's like, this is actually a project I'm working on. And he had shown me a few of the videos from Sophia Music, and he said, I'm working on it. This is like the world's best composer, and it's going to be a movie. I'm doing the soundtrack for a movie on Cicada 3301, and he said it was through Sony and stuff like that. And I was like, that's awesome, man. I didn't put any thought into it until, I mentioned it to you, and you had the response that you did.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically the way that conversation went. As far as the Sony stuff goes, I didn't know a whole lot about it, but he absolutely mentioned it to me.
Well, I can tell you straight away that the Sony deal has been a big honeypot. It's been a big honeypot for a lot of people. And this really bothers me to the core because he was going through a hard time, and I know he was going through a hard time. And he was working on a soundtrack for a movie deal for Cicada 3301. 3301. It sounds like a lot of the stuff that freaking happened to, say, DeFango, what happened to Lestat, what happened to Pavana. No, he has support. Sherry, I have already told him 100% that I have his back, and I promised everyone that if something came to light that was really messed up, that I would tell you guys. I've been working on this for the past 2 days, and literally, like, information's already out. There's really not much anyone can do with that. I have all my shit in a row, and friggin' everyone else does too. So there's really no reason to be paranoid and or anything. I've never really feared these people. All I want is it to stop, because it seems that they're preying on the intellectual yet mentally weak. The fractured. It just...
Yeah, man. If I can,
Go ahead.
Sam was a highly intelligent person, um, far surpassing anything or anyone that I've met. He, with that being said, he had, he was going through one of the hardest times he's ever gone through in his life, in my opinion. And I've known him well before my daughter was born. So it's been, at least, it's going on 8 years. I met him on Christmas Eve 8 years ago this year. So, this is the worst. And I never, ever thought that it would come down to anything like this, and, the biggest reason I'm getting on here and speaking out about this stuff is, if this is the case, and if they're really targeting people like Sam and judging from what you and I have talked about and all the things that I had talked about with Sam that I never really connected before, it just really concerns me. So, if it helps anyone, then, hopefully it'll do some good.
No, I hope that it does do some good too. Like, I'm pretty sure that after everyone hears this, like I said, I'm usually a late night streamer, so we get anywhere between 15 to 30 people in, and then by the morning time we'll have like friggin' maybe 400, 500 views. But this is actually a pretty big development. So like I said to you guys, is that you probably are going to want to like and share this all over, because this is an in real life friend, someone who knew this man, and honestly, it's something that the community needs to freaking stand up and say, something enough. He progressively got more paranoid. He was lacking sleep. He ended up text messaging you, right? Saying that he found the people that burned his house down or something?
Yeah, that was, it was, I'm not looking at my text right now, but it was about a week, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
He messaged me and he said, hey brother, I just want to let you know I found the people that burned my house down. He's like, I'm going to go take care of this once and for all. He's like, if anything happens to me, the silver's on the table to the right in the greenhouse, and the motorcycles, whatever you and Erica decide. I love you, man. And I was like, dude, do you need me to come out there? I was like, do you need anything? And he's like, no, I'm okay. You know me. I'm like, I know you, dude. I know you're all right, but just be careful. And he's like, I'm not the one that needs to be careful. And I messaged him the next day just to check in with him. And he said he was all right. Everything's good. And he never told me anything else about that specific thing, but this was This was pretty recent,
No.
a few weeks ago, tops. So it was, yeah, this was something that he always talked about, and he would never tell me who. Um, his house burned down about a year ago, and he
He
told me
made
that
it sound like it was occult hunters, people that hunted him based on studying the occult. Like I said, is that I already plan on uploading me and his conversation and sending it to you so you can see exactly translucently how me and him talked and what we talked about, all that good stuff, so that you know that I was actually a good guy. I was one of his real friends. It just, this is horrible. Not only did our friend die, but I believe it was a 20-year veteran officer, someone who was on the force for a very long time in that small town. And then I have to point this out just because I brought it up on DeFango's stream. The day prior to all this happening, he posted something about the truther communities, hush money, blah blah blah. And then suddenly, freaking that happens. But the crazy thing is that I'm gonna do this, and since he's gone, I don't think he'll care if I pull up his YouTube and show you guys something. But whole thing is that, like, there's warning signs too. And this is what I'm kicking myself in the ass about. Alright. Work computer. Alright. We go to Zelidor Petrov. Now, this would be his last song. Alright. Ah, come on. It is not wanting to switch screens on me today, guys. There we go. Alright. We're gonna start this over.
Looking deep into the past, future visions never last. Never fail to look away.
Well, this place.
The time of weeping comes to pass. Everything they ever told you will never come true. Kinda hard to think with all the shit they spew. Bear with me now as you see the truth shine through. Kinda hard to think with all the shit you knew.
With all the shit. How did that end? With all the shit you knew or do? But this is what's really bothersome, guys. He said right here, tonight. Something's fucky. How is someone saying that freaking someone's gonna die in the truther community and everything freaking the same day that someone freaking ends up doing
just
this
wanted
stuff?
to point out to you,
Crazy.
I think I sent you a screenshot before, but if not, I just did again. One of the last things that Sam said to me, the last messages before he sent me his song, was, I'm done with this level of existence. I'm leaving this reality. And that was one of the last things that he sent to me. Was
Can
the
you
last
send it
text
to
that he sent.
me through Discord so that I can save it quickly, so I don't switch over to Facebook, all that good stuff?
Yeah. Let me try that.
Then I'll bring it over onto the other screen share. And if you have anything else that was texted that actually you want to share, then like I said, as people are used to me talking to people for a little bit, so usually what happens is people start getting in and being like, oh, this is relevant, let's share, and then we'll get a bunch of people in here. Regardless, tomorrow I'm pretty sure that everyone will reshare this and put this information out into the community, and or I give full permission to restream this on any channel. Please be tasteful in the title and everything, though, out of respect. Alright? Because the more places that information gets out, the better. More people hear it, you know. And this all is freaking relevant as, well, I'm gonna swear it. This is relevant as fucking hell. And this is really, 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 really fucking, it's sad, man. Like, I'm really, really freaking, like I said, I've been working on this for 2 days. Me and you have been talking for the past 2 days nonstop, damn near.
Pretty much all hours of the night, and it's,
Yeah, and I've reached out to several other really close friends that were in the community, and it just, everyone's freaking shocked at what happened. Like, I don't even think, like, people saw me tweeting about it, and I have a tendency to talk kind of like in streams, so it's one long text, and people don't read it all. So this seems a little bit easier.
For sure.
But
yeah.
Here, let's see. Go here and save this as text Dimitri. Alright. Sorry it's taking a little while, guys. Alright, so we go to pictures. Where did I save it? Alright. So I'll close this out real quick. Yay! I apologize for being the first stream you're on. You're probably like, God, this guy's freaking weird.
No, it's not you. I'm trying to, my phone went from being adequately loud enough to, like, super quiet, so I'm, like, messing with my car on the Bluetooth, because it's always, it's, like, the best time for this to be like, oh, well, I can't hear shit.
Oh, it's totally fine. I will talk a little bit louder. Is this okay?
I will help.
Alright, guys.
It's all good.
Now, this is a text message between them. Alright? It's truly the end of the road for me. In this level of reality, I am moving on. I actually work about 24 hours a day. It's just the payout is less frequent, but much greater. I am shifting into a higher level of existence. And then he sends a video. Requiem. Then responds, please let me know you're okay, brother. So.
Yeah, that was the text I sent him that morning when I heard things, and I was like, there's no way, and I sent him that message, and that was the last message that'll go through. Everything I send now says it can't send, so I'm guessing that his phone's either disconnected or just unable to receive messages at all.
Well, the whole thing is that I talked to Erica's father shortly as well, and I let you know that today. And she's actually in the hospital. He was going to visit her, and literally Literally, I told him about all this stuff, and I told him if he ever needed to talk to anyone about it, that to come to me, and he said he'd look into it, and it just that he was totally shocked about it, basically. It just,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's such a shocking. It's it was surreal. It was something I couldn't believe was going on. It's taken me days to even get to the place where I'm able to talk, about it. That's why it took me so long to post that video. I knew once his name was released that there would be hate all around on his end. I just wanted him to know, and the people that loved him and cared about him, to know that, there was a lot of us, most of us, anyone that knew Sam knew what kind of person he was. And he was not a bad person. He was not evil or violent or any of those things. He was a wonderful person,
Well, can I ease your mind on something that the reports online are saying that I'm finding very, very odd, and it's really, really confusing me. They state that he had prior charges, and I pulled a background report on him. No charges. No charges whatsoever. There's driving on a suspended, which was like a possible record, but there was nothing on there pointing towards violence or anything, and it really tripped me up because background report sites are really good at that, and that's something that doesn't disappear.
No. And one of the reports that was just last year that apparently he was arrested for, um, assault with a deadly weapon or hitting someone with an iron bar or something like that. He never ever mentioned that he had been arrested. I'd never heard anything about it.
Yeah.
But there are reporting that, so that's strange.
Well, I now know that there is one TS troll in here. We have one downvote. Nobody with a heart and or a soul would downvote this, honestly. And usually we get so many few downvotes that it's literally like 6 people, and it's just 6 of the trolls coming out. But yeah, no, this is all really, really freaking shocking and emotional for at least like the Facebook community. All the top solvers that worked around with me and my group. We actually worked with Demetrius, and then, like I said, is that I feel like shit because I introduced him to Thomas, and then after finding out that he was honeypotted by the Sony deal, he was talking about money, payouts, freaking all this other shit. Like, honestly, kind of feels a little bit like my fault. If I could go back in time, I'd change it. I know that it's not my fault because at that time I didn't know all this about freaking TS. But, now I know enough about TS that, hey, maybe, just maybe, I can make it right. And that's why I reached out. That's exactly why I reached out, is because he's gone, he's not going to be able to have a voice, and nobody would have known who he was in contact with. And once I actually told you, it was like, hey, such and such this name, and you were like, oh my god, yeah. Friggin' this was said. And I didn't even have to freaking tell you.
Yeah, I mean, and I know nothing about the cicada community. I sit on the outside as far as that goes. He was always sending me things, and he added me to a few groups, but I was like, what? I don't have the ability or the time to even attempt this. But no, he definitely mentioned Sophia music. He definitely mentioned this, being in a movie being made about cicada, and at the time I just, I thought I didn't know exactly what he was talking about, but that's it's so I have no doubt that in looking at the post that he made on some of Sophia music videos, definitely.
Yeah, he made quite a few posts on Sophia music videos, and then not to mention there were a lot of comments between the Sophia music and basically any of the alts that Thomas uses and everything. Those have been documented by people. And there's been several people going through and freaking taking those and compiling them so they can send them to me and I can send them to you. Because the whole thing is that, like I said, is that a cop has died. One of my friends has died. That's no bueno. And I'll tell you a little background real quick in front of everyone. Like, Python will remember this. I see Python in here, you know. But I came into the community and I ran in full force, man. I used my own face and I used my own name, and I didn't heed any warnings that anyone gave me because I was bullheaded. And I met Demetrius through the fact that I was trying to unify the cicada solving community. You know, they were broken up into what I would actually call broods, like little hives, workers thinking that it's like competition, greatness is going to ensue if you solve this, everything like that. And it was like a huge fantasy. So I was like, you know, something, why not work together and get this done and see if there's something at the end. You know, at that moment in time, that was the first time I ended up starting getting attacked by trolls. You know, one of the first times Thomas got a hold of me was under a fake Facebook account, which I'm gonna go and get all those screen captured and everything so I can bring those on stream sometime. But he tried to get me to attack Defango because he witnessed the fact that me and Defango were fighting in the Facebook group because people wanted to solve a certain way and they were listening to me, and me and Defango kind of butted heads at that point. So, yeah, I actually came in here trying to unify everyone and getting people to work together. You know, that was the whole banner. I mean, that's part of the reason why, like, people in here will know me as King Arthur from the Facebook community. It's kind of like stupid name that the community gave me. I didn't choose it. Automatically, suddenly people just was like, oh, King Arthur. And if you take a look at the little profile picture for the lone cicada, well, Sam actually made that. You know, and he actually told me, he was like, that's how I see you. It's a beautiful picture. You know, but if you take a look at this art of my picture, right, and then take a look at the, like, chaos-filled creepiness that he posted up on his pages and everything, there's a distinct difference in how his mind was working during those times. And this was back in freaking November when he made this. You know? So you can see through his artwork where he got more twisted and chaotic. Now, I have a question for you in front of everyone and everything. It's a random question. It's pretty easy. Now, whole thing is that TS referenced vortex mathematics and chaos magic. Now, to your knowledge, was he into either of those subjects? Did I lose you?
Yeah, just for a second there, I caught most of that. You asked if he was into.
Oh, all right. I will redo that. And I asked if he was into anything pertaining to vortex mathematics and or chaos magic.
Yeah. I actually just sent you some screenshots looking back over Sam and I's conversation. You know, as far as chaos magic, Sam and I, you know, we used to study the occult quite a bit together, and
yeah,
you know, then went into you know, Liber Null and Psychonaut, and you know, different books on chaos magic. Everything was pretty, you know, good-natured and light at that point. But he did reference vortex mathematics several times, and I just sent you a screenshot looking at our conversations where he was actually talking about using vortex mathematics, leaving someone open to, let's see here. So the video I made about vortex mathematics used WMA or weaponized media applications. So somebody he's definitely was introduced to that. And he's talking about using it against one of my family members I was having a dispute with. He said his psychological state's pretty iffy anyways. So it sounds like someone was teaching I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, well, early on, I'll end up having to pull out that screenshot sometime and show you guys that one again. But that's the reason why I came into the fray, man, is that when I was running the group, what happened is that I'm saving the pictures. Give me 1 second. But what happened is that I got a text message on Facebook from a guy named Jared, and at that moment in time, he was actually a friend of mine. Well, he sent me a portion of an email and everything that had email cut off, but he stated that it was Thomas, and that Thomas was planning on going after Lestat, and I was a big fan of Lestat at that time, you know, and he was like a brother to me. So I ended up freaking rushing headfirst into Thomas, based on the fact that I saw that he was turning things into chaos magic, vortex mathematics. So there's actually a connection there. There's a big connection there. You know, triggering of interests and everything usually brings people together. Not to mention the Sony deal, all that stuff. It comes together. Now, my computer is taking a long time to save these screenshots. Mother fudger. Alright. There we go. I got one of them.
Yeah, there are quite a few, and I also sent you one where he's talking about people that burned his house down, and that text that I was referencing.
Alright, I will share all of these. Just be patient with me because my computer is kind of a potato when I'm streaming and doing all this at the same time. I do pretty well with the potato, though. Let's see. Working on it. You know, I updated Windows 10 and I've been having problems like a mofo lately. I hate Windows 10. Sucks. Alright. That's deepened down too. Alright. And then, actually, I might be able to just open these directly in the Discord app. Yep, that's easier. This will be a lot easier. Sorry about that, guys. You get to listen to my pillow talk voice. Hi, Lepo. That's a shout out from you. Mr. Pidgeotto. Lepo's one of the trolls, man, that literally makes us look like we're the attackers and freaking bad guys. They deflect everything on other people. It's bullshit. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see what Sam's conversations were, and I don't know if his girlfriend will have access to his email or any of his social media accounts, but I think that'll shed a lot of light.
Yeah, I think that will too. Now, alright. We have this one right here. I'll zoom in on. Oh, that's a little too big. Alright, no, that's totally fine. I'll read this off to you guys so you can see this. Let me bring back the stream. Here's two of them. Then I'll open the other two after. Horrible, I'm such a random streamer. Everyone loves it. Not really. Alright. Samuel Fullerton, Friday, June 14th, 2:01 p.m. Hell yeah, brother. It's as good as Dexter. Hope you're well. Sorry I've been out of contact. Sorry, man, I haven't been able to get to Little Rock to sell it. Hell yeah, man. That would be great. Do you have time next week? Wait, is this out of order? Did you put these in order?
I'm not exactly sure. There are different segments.
I'll just read.
The part that's actually, relevant is, let's see here. Okay. I'm sorry. That one might have been a mistake. The one that's talking about WMAs, I sent that one. I'm sorry about that.
No, it's fine. Friggin' but I'll read this. Sorry, man, haven't been able to get to Little Rock to sell it. Hell yeah, man, that would be great. Do you have time next week? I could coordinate with the dealer. Truth be told, I'm at war with the police, and those people that burned down my house down are back. So guys, the people that freaking burned his house down came back, ironically, after the fact of getting into contact. I'm just saying that that's weird. Alright? That is literally weird. Fucking hey, man. Are back. So my movements have been limited in that. It's when shit goes down, it must go smoothly, or it will be the end. When you sell junk silver, the value is from the mint more.
The rest is I was trying to get him to sell some silver.
Okay, so it's just basically him saying, "Hey, sell his silver."
Right.
All right, I don't need to read that then.
But yeah, he was always referencing the people that burned his house down, and I try to ask him, like, who are these people? He's like, man, just these people out there, they burned my house down, they're fucking trying to kill me, and, he was always talking about it, but I could never get a clear answer as far as who they were,
Now, I want to point out to you that this teenage FBI live guy, he's directly involved with some of the PSYOP mind war trolls. He's actually in contact with this Thomas Schoenberger guy that was in contact with your friend, who basically, Lepo, I'm glad you're here, because guess what? Like, Thomas promised his friend part of the Sony deal, bro. Thomas freaking utilized him to make music and do stuff for him, man. Like, Lepo, level with me here. Someone's dead now. And the whole thing is, mentality went a hell of a lot farther, and there's a lot of stuff pointing to freaking a lot of shit, man. So, what's going on, Mr. Pidgeotto? Now, Pillow Talk is another one. Teenage FBI Live. Janon's harmless. He hangs out with Lepo, but the whole thing is that I don't think that he would allow something to go so far. And if he did, then that would be a total shocker to me, because I think he's a freaking good guy. I like Janon. I just don't like the people that he associates with. So, this is the one that he's talking about. He finally found the people that burned his house down. Alright? I'll actually read that again, because you did read it. Now that I have it, I'm going to show it and read it again. But, finally found that the people that burnt my house down. If you don't hear from me by tomorrow, the silver is on the table on the left when you go into the greenhouse. My bike has keys in it. You and Erica can decide what to do with it. Thank you for your friendship. Delete this message. And then you respond, brother, be safe. If anything were to ever happen to you, the last thing I would be concerned with are material matters. Are you going there now? I'll delete everything. Let me know you're alright when it's all over, man. If I don't hear from you tomorrow, I'll be heading that way. Be careful, my friend. And then he said nothing's going to happen. Now, the whole thing is, and Jet, you know why. It's because I'm subjective, and he's never attacked me once. He's never said a bad thing that I've seen. So, obviously, I haven't got under his skin to the point where he actually thinks that I'm a target like everyone else. And of course, TS Gang is going to be in the house, because he ended up pulling the whole I'm going to fast in the desert routine, which, honestly, it's a weird thing, because wasn't Demetrius fasting? Yeah, it just... Sam?
Well, yeah, Sam. Something like that. He told me one of the last things, he sent me, he's like, hey, man, I haven't eaten in a while, and, the good thing is that I'm not, I'm losing the baby fat that I had. I actually have that text, and that was really concerning to me. I'm like, man, you need food. I was like, go get a part-time job, do something, anything. And that was one of the last things I said to him before he responded and said, I work 24 hours a day. I just don't have the cash in hand, basically.
Yeah. Alright, let's see. Open up the next one. You sent me one twice. And then WMA. That's the one that you said that was irrelevant.
Actually, that one.
Oh, that is relevant.
That is relevant.
It's Mind War Technology.
Right. Yeah, that's when I thought you might.
This is where the psyopers and the Mind War people, aka, well, Teenage FBI thinks that he's freaking some sort of Aquino follower of the Mind War psyop brand, and I honestly, all I see is a Pidgeotto squawking, casting freaking Gale and freaking flying, Ooh, Pokemon stuff. But alright, next one. Alright, so we have this one right here. Now, oh shit. So it says you should use a WMA on him and then hit him with suggestions like ill health, etc., accidents. He will make it real in his mind. He blatantly gave you the keys to what he fears most. And then you said, I should, man. I honestly don't even know. I want any contact with him at all. Then he says, you could easily destroy his mind. Yeah, he's completely out of touch with reality. I'm thinking of posting it in CMG and doing what that breeds. What do you think? Now, the whole thing here, I'm going to tell you this right now. Guys, can I ask you a question in chat, please? Who does that sound like? Like, what does that sound like? Waiting for some sort of response. The trolls are rerouting everyone to talk to them instead of pay attention to the thing. This is the type of stuff
this was
we deal with.
Sam had never really mentioned anything like that before, and just, I didn't even think that was relevant until, just talking with you more and seeing these keywords and things like that. I thought, something that he's been studying or, has been talked about too.
Yeah.
So it was kind of strange.
Nope, something's pretty fucky. I would have to say it. Well, I'm engaging in psychological warfare with my uncle and would love your perspective. I can call if you have minutes or service, but if not, I can explain the backstory and send messages for analyzation. Wish you were hanging out tonight, man. And then this is where he brings up vortex mathematics, guys. That video I made about vortex mathematics is specially designed to leave anyone open to suggestion. I call it a WMA, or weaponized media application. Likewise, man, shit's been hell lately, bro. I don't really have a good signal to talk, but can text you the info, and I can build a psyop for you. Wow. Wow. Wow, they really, really freaking changed him.
Yeah, dude. I just I don't even know what exactly stuff is. Just having an intellectual debate with my uncle and wanted his opinion, but I wasn't even sure what this stuff was. Yeah, this was pretty recent.
Yeah, no, like, this is all the type of stuff that this whole sick community, the truther community, which it's called, is into, man. Like, these people sit online and they think they're heroes fighting pedophilia and fighting all these causes, but really all they're doing is just putting out masses of information that aren't really even 100% vetted. Like, at this point in time, this just seems fucky. That's it. That's all I'm saying, is it seems fucky. but every single thing that you've been in contact with your best friend about that was alarming to you is linked to this damned, I'm not even going to say Cicada 3301 because it's not Cicada 3301. You know, I'm going to point my fingers at freaking people like Lepo. You know, people like Lepo think that they're freaking clever and they want to put up false information about people to basically affect them. But that's the thing, is that freaking you'll affect someone to the point where they do something freaking totally against their nature, and then people are going to want to know what's going on. You know?
Yeah, I mean, that's something, the last month or so, anytime I'd see Sam, anytime I'd hang out with him, everywhere he went, he had his weapon on him. And we've always, uh, we've always liked to shoot guns and stuff like that, but it's not like it was recently where he was in a house and he had his weapon on him. He was always saying he's got to be on the defense. People are trying to kill him. Always, man. People are trying to kill him. And that it was never like that before. So I don't know what's happening.
Well, the whole thing is that, I'm going to tell you this, is that there was about a month where I was shined over by Thomas. You know, I was all like, ooh, Cicada 3301, I put so much time into this, I'm special. You know, and then that being special turned into dread when I started realizing that freaking there was a lot of hate propaganda, anti-freaking Jew rhetoric, everything like that. And it was like, dude, you know something, just stop. Because he'd always expect me to trust him when he was talking about other people. And literally, that's fucked up. You don't just trust blindly. You get something that's actually relevant, and you see it, you analyze it. Now, if I'm listening to someone like Thomas, and they're talking about, like, Lestat saying all this slanderous shit, and I just blindly trust them, then I'm a fucking dumbass. You know, but those are the tactics that he uses, is he groups up people that you would know, so they all praise you at the same time, even though they're not praising you. And he actually wanted to belong. You know, and he loved Cicada. He was freaking literally obsessed with it, bro. Like, it's crazy. And then literally, it makes me have a little less faith in the world because, like, I see my chat right now. You know, like, Janon's in here. He's being pretty tame. Lepo's in here. I guarantee you freaking almost every single one of those people are in here. And that's the freaking crazy part of this, is that fucking A, man, it's gone too far. Like, and now, as I said, freaking Thomas is in the desert. Here's something interesting. You want to know something about this Lepo character? You still there, bro?
Yeah, man, I'm sorry. I'm switching over, trying to catch up on some of these.
Now, Lepo actually posted a status earlier today that another person that you brought up to me in conversation, which you made the connection with basically, was the Isaac Cappy. You know, and
Yeah.
you actually were doing research into that automatically. But the whole thing is that from what the community has seen, it kind of seems as though Thomas was pushing a financial campaign to utilize Cappy's death to make an income with certain channels. You know, that's what I've been hearing around Twitter. You know, that's just freaking word of mouth from freaking people. But he's been talking with this guy named Phoenix Enigma. And Phoenix Enigma ended up putting out a road scene where it was like camps and everything. But I guess there's several people in the community that are doing research right now and finding out that there was no cams or anything. So we're going to see if that's actually the truth and they present that evidence in the next couple days. But literally, this whole community is intertwined with that situation as well. So that's within 3 weeks. There's 2 deaths in immediate communities. It's crazy. And then you got Lepo over there. He posts up saying that I didn't even know Isaac Cappy very well. You know, I freaking saw one of his streams. That's it. That's the extent of knowing him. You know? And literally, they painted me on, like, YouTube, freaking saying that I killed him. You know, this is the type of stuff that they spread. Slander. Freaking, I'm a Satanist. I'm a pedophile. I'm every single thing under the frickin' sun. If they don't like you, you turn into that. And that's what's fucked up. And I haven't had any accusations whatsoever. I haven't stated that anything. I stated that I find it very weird that this man's friend came to him talking about that stuff and talked about the Sony deal as though he was going to make money out of it and everything. But it's alright, Janon. I totally understand.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to figure out, see what was going on in Sam's head, what triggered this, and why. I don't understand what had happened to him. This is giving me a lot of food for thought, and I hope that somehow we can find out exactly. I'm going to look back over my messages and see if there's anything else relevant.
Yeah.
That's a lot of stuff there that, by the sounds of it, it's not Sam. It wasn't ever Sam. This stuff is all pretty well new. I've never had him recommend using any kind of weaponized,
mind control.
Imagery. Mind control. Yeah, exactly.
Yep, that's what Lepo's famous for, is psyops and mind wars, and then Janon is fascinated with that type of stuff too. Thomas has gotten on that subject, and there's so many people that are part of these groups that freaking are into that stuff, man. Like, they see this as like some sort of big, huge, sick psychological game. I referenced Pavana to you, and that woman had it real bad too. Like, I'm just glad that she didn't pass away, because freaking that would have been horrible. You can go watch her video that she has on her channel, and it's actually spelled out Pavana, Pavana. Jesse, her husband, comes in here once in a while. It's actually getting around the time where he wakes up to go to work, so he might actually jump in, who knows. But now I'm going to give you a little intel about some of the people that are in this chat, alright? And explain to you who these people are, so you better know this community in case people start going out. Alright? But Sherry. Alright? Sherry is directly connected to Defango. Alright? Defango was living with Sherry, and I don't know if he still lives with her. I believe he went back down to Arizona for a little while because he had a loss in the family. But after he started living with her, a bunch of people, including TS, started fucking with them at her house. And what happened was that they actually doxed her elderly father and threatened to have him removed from his house, and they didn't even live there. And then they lied to the local police to have him go to the dad's house.
Really? So
yeah, they called the police and sent him to Sherry's house. And there was a in-depth investigation on Defango's channel about that, bro. Like that's tactics they use.
I don't know exactly what happened when the police arrived there. All I've heard is basically the police, the story the police are giving. What I do know is that there were at least 3 cars that pulled up. The woman that called was related to Sam's girlfriend, and she told them, oh, Sam has a gun. So, um, I'm guessing that they came there, aggressively. I don't really know exactly, but I went through the house, and I'll send you a picture. I may have already through text or something, but I mean, it is riddled with bullets. There are at least 27 bullet holes that are numbered on the front of the house. I'm shocked that his girlfriend wasn't killed in the line of fire, but I don't know. I don't know until I talk to Erica exactly what really went down. But it's just it's strange.
Yeah, and as Jet said, we are talking about Sam Fullerton. So, all the losers in chat, and I don't care if my watching now goes down, anyone who wants to actually bring negativity into this little domain, like, you're gonna see me ban people. Like, this is actually a serious conversation. Alright? So, I will be doing the whole banhammer thing. I will not do the... Well, you know what? Yeah, I'll humiliate people and just say, hey, press 1 for kicking, press 2 for freaking whatever, like I usually do. Stick to my friggin' thing. Now, these people, though, it just... Like I said, they utilize every single thing about you, man. Like, these people dug up stuff on me from when I was 17 years old, dude. I'm 32 years old. I got trouble as a kid, and they started weaponizing it, putting narratives attached to it that never happened, all that good shit. And literally, they even posted up on ripoffreport.com on me. They did all that shit. Like, I familiarized you with ripoffreport.com. It's a place where people can
just go
talk shit.
Yeah.
talk shit.
Yeah, my only concern in doing this, and I don't really know, I don't know how deep or how bad, this could go, but it's, I'm not familiar with the community or really anything that could possibly happen, but seeing what happened to Sam, that's the biggest thing that concerns me, that, is I did know Sam, and I do have a lot of messages from him.
Yeah, and friggin', it isn't... the cops aren't freaking bad guys or anything like that, man. Freaking, literally, like, this whole situation was a misunderstanding. He was scared for his life, and I think he panicked. And literally, like, all of this stuff freaking really needs to be looked into because of the fact there is a death and his behavior has changed. And like he said, look at the way he's talking. You can do what you wish, but you already said there's certain things that you're going to be giving to the police. It's up to you how deep you want to go. You already have enough to give to have them investigate. I will mention right now that I am aware of an investigation going on right now with Arkansas State Police. Because of the articles, it says that a special unit is actually investigating this. So, a cop died, guys. That's fucking horrible. That's really horrible that freaking an officer of the law who's trying to protect the law ends up dying, and just because a person gets totally mentally mind-fucked. And this is the type of stuff that we see on, like, the news and everything, with kind of like behavior of people that start, like, shootings and shit. And it's freaking...
Yeah,
it's sad,
bro. I'd like to see what the autopsy says, and, exactly what happened. I just, as far as I knew of Sam, though, I mean, he was decent, he was a good person, and, I just never anticipated this, though.
No, you know something? Like, all these people in here, besides a couple people, like, I got 21 people watching this right now, man. 21 people. We have 9 upvotes and 1 downvote, and that's just me and you talking and being like, hey, this is what happened to our friend. Now, you'll see a couple people, but the rest of the people, they're here to support the man you knew. Not this new man that freaking came out of the shadows and shit, because a lot of these people, they're victims. They're literally freaking victims that have been targeted by the same group of people over and over again. Some of them years. They go to the police, they go to the FBI, they go to everywhere, and they don't get any help from them. They tell them to get offline. Some people don't have the strength to get offline, especially people like Sam.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to tell
That
you.
was all he had.
I'm going to tell you.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. I was just
Go
saying
ahead.
that's basically,
Go ahead.
recently that's been him and his girlfriend, and that's all that's all he's done, and that's most of his friends. And I'm glad I met you because you actually knew him and talked to him and knew him for the person he was. And that's, I'm seeing more support from this community and from you and other people, and that's sad that in real life there's hardly any that knew him, and that's how isolated he was. So. Yeah, he was on there 24/7, so it would have been impossible. That's his life. That's all he had at the time.
Dude, I'm going to tell you this, is that he was big part of the Facebook community. Big part of the Facebook community. He was one of the 4 admins that I picked because I trusted him that much. Like, people who were in the Facebook group, like Jet can tell you, is that I ran a tight ship. I would not allow people that I thought could harm anyone in control of the group. In fact, after all this TS stuff came about and I found out that he was trying to actually go and infiltrate my group and take it over, because he was talking to one of my admins trying to get him to freaking talk me into giving it to him, I archived my group to protect everyone. I took it down. Like 1,800 freaking people, man. And that's the extent that I went to protect people, is that I stopped everything. I made sure that they didn't have a smorgasbord of people. I was one of the last really active cicada Facebook groups. And that's when all the attacks really started. Like, they hated that shit. It's because where else are they going to get publicity for their puzzle if they're not going to get publicity from the person who is doing it? Because me and my group were the only ones doing their puzzle.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, man, it's pretty crazy reading the reports and everything that I found. It sounds like it could get pretty intense. That's scary and sad.
no, it is. It's actually very scary and sad, man. I feel for friggin' Samuel. I feel for his family. I feel for every single person that's freaking affected. The only thing is that freaking one thing that these people really don't actually understand is that I feel for other people. I don't really feel for myself, so they can attack me all they want, but it will actually freaking make me hold and stand firm and be like, no, this is wrong. And that's why I constantly get attacked, is because I'm one of the rare people that just says, something, no, this is wrong. It's morally wrong. You need to stop it. You're a horrible fucking person. Where other people are just freaking, they think it's just games. Teenage FBI Live. Breaking. Lepo is deleting comments. Good for you, Lepo. We really don't care. Don't you have to go get some sort of bikini wax or something, bro? For real. And no, it just sucks, dude. I think we've touched up on almost every single thing that we needed to actually get through. Is there anything you need to add?
No, man, not that I can think of right now until I actually get more information either from Erica or, I don't know. I don't think the police will really give me much information, but
yeah.
I'm trying to gather as much as I can, but I will send you any other relevant information I find, any other screenshots of conversations, but I think that, just looking at it, and the more I talk about it, the more I'm seeing these keywords and phrases, and it's kind of, it makes a little bit more sense of what he was actually into whenever all this went down, and what could have possibly caused it, and, so it's been super helpful for me.
No, well, I actually appreciate your time, and I did tell you that, like I said, I did talk to Erica's father, and he relayed to me that the officers are in well, they have all of his electronics, meaning they have his phone, they have his computer, they have all of his text messages, emails, shit like that. So, since a cop was freaking killed, they're gonna go through and look at that shit anyways. But once you talk to them and everything, they'll be able to freaking go and see if there was any fuckery and or anything like that, man. Like, they'll be able to get freaking the help that you need as a friend to get answers for the person you love, you know? I'm pretty sure they'll help you.
Sure, they'll help you.
Absolutely. Thank you for, letting me get on here and voice at least what I have.
Hey, you know something? It's like, friggin', let's say I came on and he posted your video, because I messaged him on Facebook right when you actually posted it and told him, I was like, hey, just don't post it yet until you get permission and everything, make sure and everything. And he didn't see it, and he went and posted it, so I figured that I'd give you a platform to actually state your piece and tell people exactly how your mind's working, you know? So, I appreciate you, brother, and like I said, is that if you ever need to talk to me, I'm here for you. The key here is to just stay in contact. Freaking people will back you up. Like, if anything actually goes wrong that's amiss, where you say someone tries to attack you online and or freaking, even if they like do anything wrong, just let us know, man, because literally, like, well, Sam was a brother, man, and that makes you a brother. So
I appreciate it, dude. I definitely will. It's been helping me get through and sort through all this, so it's definitely therapeutic, and yeah. I mean, it's just shit all the way around, but maybe we can derive some meaning or find out why it happened, and hopefully prevent it in the future or do something to help.
no, I totally agree that there has to be some sort of resolution so stuff like this in the future doesn't happen to another person that really does need help, and we'll figure that out, man. Like, I got faith, and that's part of the reason why I brought you on here, and it just it's gonna take time, but things will we'll get down to the bottom of things, man. All it takes is a phone call.
Yep. I appreciate it, man. You guys have a good night.
All right, you have a good night too, man. So, guys, as you can see and everything, it was a pretty eventful stream. The whole thing is that I figured that I wanted to give a platform for him to be able to speak about his best friend, and try to get some of his truth out via the text that he would receive. And there is a definite connection in the change of behavior and the same things that were being studied at the time by certain people. It's really uncanny, not to mention paired up with the friggin' menacing tweets and or freaking, it's even weird about a disappearance of Thomas. But literally, I'm going to sign out of here now, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I will keep you updated on any further developments. Alright? Much love, everyone, and thank you very much.